Hi, I'm here with an anti-motivational post. Isn't that smart? Oh my god, why haven't I thought of this sooner? I know that sounds dumb, but just bear with me a second. There are a lot of us who are conditioned since single-digit life that it's better to stay safe with going to school, getting a degree, getting a job, blah, blah, blah. And we now know that all of that was hot nonsense. You know how we know? By how we feel. And you can logic away how you feel all day, but when you're in your bed at night staring at the ceiling and you have worries and fears, yeah, that's the inner you knowing exactly what's going on, and logic cannot penetrate how you feel. When I originally wanted to get out of kitchens, there was a time, it's in my origin story, I touch on it briefly, where I had had such a horrible shift that I went into my chef's office and told him that I was ready to break my hand, then work one more day for him. And I don't think it was personal, I just think it was the whole, I am so over everything that I actually did tell him that. And yeah, we parted on good terms. I still talk to him, I still eat at his place. But it was just one of those where I knew I was getting 8 toes out the door kind of a feeling. But the timing for me to look to working online, it clearly wasn't my time to do it. I still enjoyed cooking, and I knew that there were still things that I hadn't done yet. So that's why I persisted. And I don't look back to 2016 or 2018, whenever it was, with regret going, oh, I should have started sooner. No, I don't think of it that way, because that's not a productive or constructive use of my time. I don't live in a haze of regret. That's nonsense. I don't operate that way. It is very obvious that if I had started sooner, life would be a lot different. So what? The point is, I started. And here's another thing. When my husband passed, I had some savings and I had a choice to make. And the choice I made was start building my business. Because if I had waited and just done nothing and been in the house sad all day and goofing around and wasting time, I would have blown through my savings up until this point. And then it would have been so much harder to get started. And I think if I had started later, a lot more mistakes would have been made. I think it would have been a lot more stressful because I didn't have the runway behind me. That is why I don't have any worries about anything that I'm doing. Getting started and taking imperfect action is way better than waiting for everything to line up and get all the ducks in a row and making sure this and making sure that. There is no making sure that everything is going to be all lined up before you start. I had no idea what I was doing. Expensive mistakes? Yes. I've said before, life is a series of expensive mistakes. Because if it's not, are you living life, or are you just hanging out waiting for the inevitable? I'm gaining more by having taken that imperfect action instead of continuing to lose time, because that's all I would have lost. I would have lost time, I would have lost runway, but in the process I have gained skills, I have created things from scratch, and I wouldn't have been able to have done that if I hadn't started. Where I am now compared to where I was 6-7 months ago is ridiculous. It is leaps and bounds. And I do attribute a lot of this to meditation. Seriously, get in on that as soon as you can. 15 minutes a day is all it takes. If you are not taking proactive steps to creating the life you want, life is sitting on your head and crushing it. Whatever you have going on that feels like a problem today, right now, is going to compound and is going to compound, and it's going to be more, and it's going to get worse. Ignoring it and it'll go away, that literally does not exist. You ignore a problem long enough, it only gets worse. Let's try a food analogy. Say that you are making dinner and you're making pizza. and you make pizza and you put it in the oven, and after 25 minutes, you know it's ready to go, right? You're ready, take it out and eat it. But you decide to leave it in the oven for another 2 hours at 375 degrees. Is that going to make the pizza any better, or is that going to make it way worse? So my advice of the day, take it or leave it, is to really sit back and think about your life, how you feel when you go to bed at night, how you feel when you wake up in the morning, knowing what is waiting for you when you walk in that door, and knowing you have the ability to change that whenever you want, just by sharing links with people. That's all it is. And I think that's fantastic. So I'm gonna go check on my dinner, and I will see you back here bright and early, 8 a.m. Okay, bye.